The storm rattled the windows of the tiny studio, wind howling through the cracks in the frame. Inside, an artist worked feverishly, his trembling hand dragging a paintbrush across the canvas. Every stroke was precise, deliberate, as though the act of creation itself was keeping him alive. His name was Victor Marlowe, once a prodigy among his peers, a man whose talent was said to rival the masters of old. But now he was gaunt and hollow-eyed, his youthful vitality stripped away, leaving a husk of desperation and obsession. The source of his obsession sat innocently on the table beside him, a wooden box, its surface etched with swirling symbols that seemed to move when caught in the flickering candlelight. It had arrived unbidden weeks ago, left on his doorstep without a name or note. At first he'd thought it a gift from a patron, a recognition of his genius, but as he dipped his brush into the shimmering paints within, he realized the truth. The box wasn't a gift, it was a bargain. Victor paused, stepping back to study his work. On the canvas, a woman's face gazed back at him, hauntingly beautiful, her eyes alight with something otherworldly. Her expression seemed almost alive, her lips curling in a smile that hadn't been there moments ago. He should have felt triumph. After all, this was his masterpiece, the culmination of months of tireless labor, but instead he felt dread. Victor, perfect, the woman's painted eyes seemed to follow him as he stumbled back. His heart pounded in his chest, a sharp, erratic rhythm that drowned out the storm outside. He clutched at his chest, gasping for air as the pain spread through his body. The canvas tilted forward, crashing to the ground. In its place, the mirror behind it caught his reflection, and Victor froze. His face was no longer his own. His once rugged features had been smoothed into flawless symmetry, his skin stretched too tight over his bones. His eyes gleamed with a strange, unnatural light. He looked perfect, and he looked wrong. Victor, no, 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 no. The whispering started then, soft and insidious, threading through his thoughts like smoke. It had been there before, faint and easy to ignore, but now it was deafening, a chorus of voices repeating the same word over and over, whispers, perfection. Victor fell to his knees, his trembling hand reaching for the box. He had to destroy it, had to stop the curse from spreading, but before he could touch it, the lid closed with a resounding snap. The symbols on its surface glowed briefly before fading into stillness. The whispers stopped, and Victor Marlowe, the man who had once been destined for greatness, crumpled lifelessly to the floor. Decades later, the box sat on a dusty shelf in a forgotten corner of a small art supply shop. Its wood was unmarked by time, its symbols waiting, dormant, waiting for the next artist.